Killzone series developer Guerrilla Games has just wrapped up work on the superlative Horizon Zero Dawn, which is due out next week exclusively on the PlayStation 4. Naturally, the tendency for the average fan here may be to expect that for now, there is no new Killzone game coming, and certainly not from Guerrilla anyway. However, that may not be the case if this report made by a leading Dutch newspaper reported on by PlayStation Universe has any merit to it. According to this report, the newspaper has stated that a new Killzone game is being worked on by Guerrilla's Amsterdam studio, the main studio that made the original Killzone games as well as Horizon. It also seems like references made to his game outside of this newspaper on the internet were deleted after being posted, though this last bit is just an unsubstantiated claim and should not be bought into blindly, or really at all. Konami's Metal Gear franchise may not be going in a fan-approved direction with Metal Gear Survive. But hey, at least there's one person who wants to make sure a Metal Gear Solid movie is faithful to the series. Director Jordan Vogt-Roberts spoke to Collider and said that the script for the movie is currently being written. That is a property that I will fight tooth and nail to make sure is done properly, because it's so easy to screw it up, and so easy for a studio to try and make it into a G.I. Joe, or try and make it into a Mission Impossible, or try and make it into something that it's not. Metal Gear Solid needs to be exactly what it needs to be, which is Metal Gear Solid. Vogt-Roberts said that Metal Gear Solid is probably the most important franchise to me on the planet, and called it a genius, idiosyncratic work. The man had a chance to meet creator Hideo Kojima at one point and said it had been like a dream. Metal Gear Solid is fairly unique thanks to Kojima's singular voice and vision at the center of it. As per Vogt-Roberts, I think it'd be a massive film. I think it'd be an incredible film, but it needs to be done in a way that completely honors what Metal Gear is, because it's a classic and it's a seminal work not just in video games, but in media. As it stands, the movie could end up either PG-13 with a sizable budget, or a more scaled-back production with the benefits that an R rating brings. There are hyper-violent parts to Metal Gear, but I would not necessarily call the hyper-violent part the core element of it, versus like the tone and the voice and the philosophies that the characters exhibit. Those characters sort of are these walking philosophies, so I think nailing that part is far more important necessarily than thinking about the rating at this point, because right now we're just trying to get the best version of it. What are your thoughts on the Metal Gear Solid movie and whether it will come into fruition? Let us know in the comments below. The Elder Scrolls and Fallout developers Bethesda are a busy bunch these days. While a lot of us are mostly concerned with when the next major installment in both those franchises come out, the guys at Bethesda actually have their fingers in a whole lot of pies. And there are currently 7 projects in the works at the studio, as per Todd Howard. In a conversation with IGN, he revealed that 2 of these have already been properly announced, those being Fallout VR and the Elder Scrolls Skyrim for the Nintendo Switch. While speaking of the former, Howard said that Fallout 4 was going to be playable in VR from start to finish, with no content being removed from the game whatsoever. There's no content that we removed or changed for VR, he said. It's interface work, it's other things here, our issues with locomotion, how you traverse that much space, and we're hoping to support as many modes as possible. It's not done yet, there's work to do, but the parts that are there, I'm biased, but it's pretty incredible. Howard also revealed that not all projects are being developed on a similar scale, with a mobile game also being in development so that Bethesda can capitalize on the success of Fallout Shelter. So some of those things are obviously of different scales, said Howard. We're always doing a lot of things, and once we get good momentum on something, that's what we'll focus on. He then went on to talk about 2 more currently unannounced and unnamed projects under development at Bethesda, saying that they are bigger than anything we've done. They are what I would call kind of different, but still the kind of game people would associate with us. This quote definitely has us extremely interested, especially the prospect of a new big-budget IP on the same level as the Elder Scrolls and Fallout. What we are wondering though, is one of these 7 games the Elder Scrolls 6? Even if it is, it's unlikely we'll be hearing about it for a long while yet. Sledgehammer Games boss Glenn Schofield has been talking about the upcoming Call of Duty installment for this year, and he sounds excited to say the least. Although, while speaking of the game and what it might feature, or even when it might be revealed, he remained tight-lipped, while getting in a few quips and jokes. All he said of the game to begin with was the fact that the game would have boots and ground, and some roots. That's not really anything at all, to be honest, but Schofield recognizes that and says that he wishes to talk of the game soon or else he might implode. Us too, man, us too. He did, however, promise players that when the game is finally revealed, people are gonna go nuts, before claiming that it was gonna be Sledgehammer's best game yet. Finally, when he was asked when the game might be revealed, he said that he's just a game maker and has no idea when that might be. He joked that in a meeting with Activision, when they talked about the reveal date, he sneezed, so he has no idea when that might be. Well, we're excited too. Apparently, Call of Duty 2017 will be going old school, with a focus on traditional combat, since the sci-fi setting of Infinite Warfare did not work really well.
And that'll be about it for this one. If you guys like what we're doing at GamingBolt, please consider subscribing to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.